Greetings everyone. We are welcoming you to our video presentation on simulating a smartphone using Java programming. I am Harvy Peñaflor and I am here with my groupmates.
Um, we have two classes in a Java project named Smartphone and Main. Let's start with the smartphone class first. In this in this class, our code includes import statements to bring in various Java classes and libraries, such as the array list, random, scanner, decimal format, local datetime, and datetime formatter. In this class, smartphone is defined with several class fields, constructors, and methods to represent a smartphone's characteristics and functionalities. The first line of codes in the smartphone body shows the two declared and initialized static variables, which is which are the scanner and random. These variables will be shared among all instances or objects of the class. Scanner is used for user input and random is used for generating random numbers. Another declared static variable, which is the double number. This will be used for the functionality of the calculator. Mm, The class has various class fields to store information about a smartphone, such as the brand, model, storage capacity, battery capacity, screen dimensions, camera, resolution, power on, flashlight on, SIM card, use storage, and battery percentage in several data types like string, double, int, boolean, and such. Default value of boolean is power on and is flashlight on are set to false. The battery percentage value is set to 100. This next line of code, we declare an array of double named numbers that can store up to 100 double values, and the elements are initially set to zero point 0.0 or in decimal. This way, user can use decimal numbers and do calculations without being limited to inputting integer numbers only. We also declared and initialized three array lists of strings. These array lists are initially empty or doesn't have any elements storing and is used for storing a collection of strings like photo gallery array list to store the captured photos, installed apps array list to store the installed applications in the smartphone, and notes array list for storing text-based content such as the notes or the memos. Next are the overloading constructors. First one is default constructor. This constructor initializes a basic smartphone object with default values for all attributes or the class fields. It is used when no specific details are provided during the object creation. This will be the default smartphone details when user decided just to use a smartphone instead of creating one. Next is a parameterized constructor that creates a smartphone object with the provided brand and model only, while using the default values for other attributes or class fields. The same with the previous constructor or the default constructor. It is used when the user chooses to create a smartphone with only brand and model details only. Another parameterized constructor that creates a smartphone is the next one. This parameterized constructor creates a smartphone with the provided brand, model, storage capacity, and battery capacity. Other attributes receive default values like the previous constructors. It is used when the user chooses to create a smartphone with more specifications, including storage capacity and battery capacity. Last, parameterized constructor. This constructor creates a fully detailed smartphone with all provided attributes or class fields, including screen width and screen height, camera resolution, and SIM card information. It is used when the user chooses to create a smartphone with all available specifications, or user decided to create a user decided to customize a phone um in their wants, in their desires. Next is the boolean is power on is set to false, which means smartphone is turned off. It is set to false to all constructors so that when the smartphone object is created, user have a choice to either turn on the phone or not. Also, the use storage is initialized to 0 because the smartphone is not yet in use. Now, I'd like to call Miss Jarsha for further explanation of the codes. Thank you.
Next, we have methods. We created two methods for turning on and turning off the smartphone. First, we have the turn on method. We declare the is power on is equals to true. True means to power on. So the smartphone is turned on. Next is the turn off phone method. We will check the condition of is power on. We declare the is power on to false, which means it is set to off. So that if the condition checks that the power on is false, it will print the output to smartphone is turned off, or else it cannot turn off phone. Smartphone is already turned off. The display available apps. In display available apps, it contains the App Store. Here the available apps like Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, YouTube, and Chrome. We will just call this method in the main class in order to display the available apps. So when the user turns on the phone and selected the install app, this will display. Next, we have the install app method. We declare the decimal format, which holds the value of accepting two decimal places. The desc form is the variable name of the decimal format equals to decimal format 0.00. So it declares only two decimal places will be accepted in the program to display. Next is the list of available apps. List string. String is the data type used in creating list. App list is the variable name equals new array list. App list is the variable name so that we will add it to the list. So it will be declare app list that add in order to add the string into a list. So it will create 5 different strings will be stored in the app list. Next is the checking of the condition if the smartphone is turned on. If the user turns on the phone and wants to install an app, the smartphone will ask the user to enter the app name you want to install. String app name. App name is the variable name where can the user input can be stored. So it will ask for the user input. So we use array lists to check if the user input or the app name contains the app that's stored in the array list. Next, we declared boolean up to found equals false to track if the app was found in the available apps list. Next, we declared for loop for string available app. Available app is where the app is stored. We just declared available app so that we can store the app list in there. So in the if statement, we will check the condition if the app is present in the array list. In the int selected app size equals get app size app name. This will retrieve the size of the app in the in megabyte with the app name. Next, we will check if there is enough storage space to install the app. Here, use storage plus selected app size less than or equals to storage capacity times 1024. So if the app is not present in the list, it will just display the app size. And the available storage will remain the same. So it will display the apps installed, concatenated the app name, and the selected app size. Or else, not storage, not enough storage to install app. App found is declared to true. So it is set the app found to true when the app is found. Next is the if it is not equal to app found, it will display app is not available. So once the user entered an app that is not available in the app list, it will display app is not available. The method of calculating and display available storage space and decrease battery percentage. We declare the double available storage, the storage capacity, which is 256 times 1024 minus use storage divided by 1024. The use storage will be displayed and the available storage for calculating and displaying the available storage space. And battery percentage, subtract n to 1 because every time the user turns on the phone, battery will be automatically set to decrease to 1 or else cannot install app, smartphone is powered off. Lastly, we have the method for get app size. we declare the string app name and switch app name case Facebook. So when the user inputs Facebook, it will return the app size of 354. While if the user enters Chrome, it will return 30 is the app size of the user input. Let me call the next presenter, Mr. Joven Mark Olaviaga.
Method for capturing saving photo. The method checks if the smartphone is powered on. If not, it prints a message and exists indicating it cannot capture photo. The smartphone storage capacity is checked after power on, calculating user storage and photo size, comparing the storage capacity insufficient it exists. The program interesting through the photos in the gallery check if their photo the name same with the same name as the captured one. If a match is found, it exists, thus add the new photo. Add photo gallery and updates use storage. The method saves as a new photo and its name assigns the photo gallery. Collecting updates uses storage, simulate power on consumption, and prints a message confirming the successful capture and saving. The system display message indicating sufficient storage capacity to save the photo. The smartphone will be displayed the message stating that it cannot capture photo due its inactivity. Method for displaying captured photo. The public void display gallery method in Java is declared in public accessible for other classes. It uses the system.out.print statement to print the message photo gallery followed by new line character displaying output and console. The for loop iterates through the photo gallery collecting, printing the name the path each photo with the symbol displaying them in a format manner. The console is display the message indicating the current use storage capacity, typically gigabytes using the use storage variable. The line calculates and display available storage space using system.out.print, converting MB to GB and appending the result to message. The line decreases the battery percentage variable by 1, indicating a decrease in battery charge percentage possible related to code snippet operation. Method for sending text message. The method simulates sending text message from simulated smartphone, providing detailed explanation operation. The code promotes user to input receive the phone number which is stored in the receipt number variable. The code promotes users to input their message, waits for their input, stores the message in the message variable. Check if a SIM card is detected. The code checks if a SIM card is inserted into the smartphone before sending the text message, executing the code if it is present. The code detects a valid SIM card smartphone print message confirming text message sending, including receipt, the number, and message simulates battery usage by decreasing battery percentage 1. The code inside the else block executes if there is no detect SIM card, indicating the text message cannot be sent. Method for making call. The mechanical method simulates phone calls from simulated smartphone, providing detailed explanation of its operation. The code promotes the user to input the receive the phone number, which is stored in the receipt number variable. The code checks if a SIM card is inserted into the smartphone before making the phone, executing the code if it is presenting. The code smartphone detects invalid SIM card, initiates phone call, print the receipt, the number, confirm the connection, simulating the call process. The code initiates the call, promotes the user to press a key, often waiting for the user present enter to end call. The code is phone call when the user present enter indicating the call, reducing battery usage percentage 1. The code inside the else block executes if no SIM card is detected, display message indicating that call cannot be made. Now let me call Mr. John Lester. Continue the explanation.
Hello, I'm here to, I'm Jarsha Hutalla. I'm here to discuss the play music method. This method simulates a basic music player. It prompts the user to choose between 25 songs, song 1, song 2, song 3, or each search for specific song. The user can also exit the music player. The battery percentage is decremented with each song played. Next is the check weather method. This method provides a static weather update, always supporting rainy weather. Similar to the music player, it decrements the battery percentage. Enter number method. This method collects a series of numbers from the user until they enter seal to stop. It stores this number in an array. This functionality is intended for use in the calculator method. This is a method simulates a basic calculator. It offers options for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and the exiting the calculator. For each operation, it calls enter number to connect numbers and perform the calculation. The result is displayed and the battery percentage decreases with each calculation. And the last, the open notes method. This method represents a note talking application. It displays a menu with option to write a note, remove the most recent note, view all notes, or exit the app. Notes are stored in an array list. Battery percent decreases which each operation. It declines check for low battery and handles cases where there are no notes or the user attempts to delete a note when none exists. And, Now let me call Mr. Dale to continue the explanation.
Date time, guess the number game, and the rock, paper, scissors game. So, date time functionality. The code includes a method named checkDate that retrieves the current date and time using the local datetime class. It formats the date and time using specified pattern with datetime formatter and displays the formatted date and time to the user. Additionally, it decrements a battery percentage variable by 1. Here in the next code, guess the number game. The play guess number game method initiates a game where a player attempts to guess a random number between 1 and 5. The player has a limited number of tries, initially 3 lives, to guess the correct number. The game provides feedback based on the player's guesses. Adjust the remaining lives and allow the player to play again or exit. The battery percentage is reduced by 2 for each unsuccessful guess. In this next code, rock, paper, scissors game. The play rock, paper, scissors game method implements a game of rock, paper, and scissors, where the player competes against the computer. The game follows a race to tree format, where the first to reach tree wins is the overall winner. The player and the computer choose from rock, paper, or scissors, and the game calculates the winner of each round. Of course, the battery percentage is reduced by 1 after each round. Now, let me call Mr. Olivar to continue the explanation.
So moving on, after the play rock paper scissors game method, we created another method we named use flashlight. So this method will be responsible for controlling the flashlight feature of the smartphone. So this method includes a check at the beginning to ensure that the smartphone is powered on, or in our case, we have here the if is power on. So this will just check or ensure that the flashlight can only be used if the smartphone is powered on or is power on is set to true. And then here we declared a boolean exit with the value false. So we will use this to indicate if the loop should continue running. After that, inside the if statement, we created a while loop with the condition is not exit. So this loop will allow the user to interact with the flashlight until they choose to exit. So within the loop, it will just display a menu with the options to turn it on, turn it off, or exit. And then here we add here a scanner that will just read the user's choice and then processes it in the switch statement. So here in the switch statement for case 1, if the user selects 1, we are just going to set is flashlight on to true. That will indicate that the flashlight is turned on, and we will just display a message that will show that the flashlight is turned on. The same and then break statement. The same goes with case 2, wherein if the user selects 2, we now set the is flashlight on to false. This will just indicate that the flashlight is turned on, and we will display a message confirming it is turned off and then break statement again. So for case 3, if the user selects 3, we set the exit flag to true. So this will just exit the loop and returns it to the menu of operating the smartphone. So if the user enters an invalid choice, here in our default, it will display a message that will indicate that the flashlight feature cannot be used once the condition in the if statement is not met. So after that method, or after the use flashlight method, we created another method we named charge phone. So in this method, this will be responsible for charging the smartphone's battery. So here we set the battery capacity to 100. That will indicate that the battery is fully charged. So here we display a message that will indicate that the battery is now fully charged. And then after that method, we created another method we named display battery status. So this method will be responsible for displaying the current battery status of the smartphone. So here in the if statement, it checks if the battery percentage is greater than or equal to 20 or 20%, and then we now display a message that with the battery percentage. And then in the else if statement, if the battery percentage is less than 20 or 20% but greater than 0, then we will just display here a message or a warning message and advises the user to charge the phone. So in the else statement, we check if the battery capacity is equal to 0 or less, and then it will display a message indicating that the smartphone is shutting down, and then we now call the turn off phone method to turn off the phone and exit the program with the system that exit 0. So after that, we now move on to the last method in the smartphone class, which we named the display details method. So in this method, this will display various details about the smartphone, including its brand, model, storage capacity, battery capacity, camera resolution, and power status. So here, here in the power status, it will display it will be displayed using a ternary operator to show the word on or display the word on if the smartphone is powered on, or if the is power on is set to true. And then it will just display the word off if the is power on is set to false. So that ends the presentation for the smartphone class. We now move on to the main class, which is going to be started by Justin Aquilizan.
Today we will run through the main.java file of the Prelim group research project, which is the smartphone application. First, we have the input java.util scanner, and this stands as the class to be used for asking and inquiring the user about their choices in the menu. Then next we have the public class main, which have two static variables, the scanner and the int menu and build. These two static variables will be used for first the input and the second one for the choices to be used in the menu and what smartphone build will be used. Next is the public static void display menu. The public static void display menu is a method called for displaying options whether to build or use a smartphone. This starts the program flow of the user, as it will dictate if a smartphone is to be constructed or a readily available smartphone is to be used for experiencing the program's features. The choice is up to the user as we prompt to select an option. Up next is the build smartphone method. The build smartphone method is pretty similar to display menu. In this, there is a series of print statements that show a selection of how the smartphone can be constructed. You have a choice for brand and model, brand model storage capacity, brand model storage capacity, battery capacity. And this stands as a menu for choosing how the phone is personalized and customized based on the user's liking. Right after that is the entry point, the public static void main. First, we have the smartphone and is smartphone on variables. These two stands as the flags if there is a smartphone present or if the smartphone is on or not. Below that is the do while loop. First, we call the display menu method that is explained earlier. Then we will use the choice from that, the menu, with the switch statement. Then at first we have the case 1, which is build a smartphone. This choice will entail the process of how the smartphone will be built by the user. If build is equal to 1, we will ask for the brand and the model of the smartphone, then construct that through a parameterized constructor. We will then display its details. If the choice is 2, we will have the brand, the model, the storage capacity, and battery capacity asked from the user. We will then create that through initialization of the smartphone object and display its details. If the build is the 3, we will have all of the class fields that is available for the smartphone: the brand, model, storage capacity, battery capacity, screen width, height, camera resolution, and SIM card network asked from the user. We will then create the smartphone object based on what the user has entered. If build is equal to 4, we will continue and go back. Else, if the invalid input choose between 1 to 4 is not, let's say for example the user choose 5, 6, it will be catched under these statements. Then we will break for that case. Next is we have the case 2. This is for using the smartphone. We have created a readily available smartphone in case the user doesn't want to create a brand new one or customize one. Then we will display the details and exit from that case. Case 3, we have the system.out print line exit. Basically, it will exit from the menu. Then default invalid choice, please try again in case there are errors or wrong answers when it comes to selecting from the menu we have provided. And that is all for this part. Basically, what have I explained is the menu part of the smartphone application. This covers the start of how you will use our program. That is all. I am Justin Aquilizan, and up next is Mr. Harvy Peñaflor to continue the main.java. Thank you.
So in this part of code, we declare a choice variable using int data type to get the user's choice. And this part of code will check if the smartphone is on. If it's not, then this part of code will run. And it will ask the user if you want to turn on the phone, and the user needs to type type number one if he or she wants to turn on the phone, and two to exit. If the user choose number one, then this part will run the case number one, and it will output smartphone is turned on. If it's two, then case two will run, and this will be the output, smartphone is shut down. For example, the user choose number three, then it or other number that is not in the choices, then it will be invalid. Then this will be the output, invalid choice, please try again. Let's assume that the user chose number one. So the smartphone will be turned on, and then it will go back here, and then check again if the smartphone is on or off. Since the user chose number one, then this part will be false, and then it will fall here. Then it will fall here, and this will run. It will show the functions or features of the smartphone. For example, we have here install app, capture photo, view photo gallery, send text message, make call, open music player, check the weather today, open calculator, open notes app, check day to day, open guest number game, open rock paper scissors game, open flashlight app, charge phone, see about phone, turn up phone, or exit. And then the user needs to type here what functions he or she wants to access. For example, the user type number one. Then case number one will run. Then it will display all the available apps and what particular apps he or she wants to install. And then it will also display the battery status of the smartphone. And these other functions will, for example, the user choose number two, then case number two will run. If the user choose number three, then case number three will run. And these other cases, the output of these cases will be explained later. So let's assume that the user needs to exit or wants to exit. Then he needs to choose number 17. Then it will proceed here in case 17. And then we'll ask the user to exit the program. If he or she wants to proceed with the exit, then he or she needs to choose number 1. If you want to walk to the main menu and make another smartphone, then he better choose number 2. Then if he choose number 1, it will run here and it will output exit, and then the program will exit. If the user choose number 2, it will output creating a new smartphone, and it will back again into the main menu, and then it will ask again if he or she wants to build a new smartphone or choose a smartphone. If, for example, the user choose number 3 or other number that is not in the choices, then it will be invalid, and it will output invalid, please try again. So this default part is included in the switch, which is if the user choose number 18 or other number that is not available here in the cases, then it will be an invalid choice, and this will be the output. For example, mm, the user input an invalid choice, then it will go back again to the main menu. So let me call Mr. Andrei Palisoc to continue the explanation.
This is the showcase of the output program. When you run the program, you will see an initial menu with three choices. 1. Build a smartphone. 2. Use a smartphone. 3. Exit if you don't want to use the program. If you choose option 1, build a smartphone, you will be presented with sub-option to specify what you want to customize. Option 1, option 2, option 3, and option 4. If you select option 1, you can build a smartphone by specifying the brand and model, like Apple, and the model is iPhone 14 Pro Max, but it will have some default details and I want to turn off or exit. And then let's try is the option 2. And if you select option 2, you can customize the brand, model, storage capacity, battery capacity, and other details. And I want to customize my smartphone brand Apple, model is iPhone 15 Pro Max, storage capacity is 512 gig, and the battery capacity is 7000 milliampere, and it will have some default details. And I want to exit again to try option 3. If you select option 3, you can fully customize the smartphone including brand, model, storage capacity, battery capacity, screen width, screen height, camera resolution, and SIM details. And I want to customize my smartphone like Apple. Model is iPhone 17 Ultra Pro Max. Storage capacity is 512 gig and battery capacity is 7000 milliampere. Screen width is 3.50 inches and the screen height is 7 inches. Na camera resolution is 100 megapixel. And the SIM card is dito. And ayan. And I want to exit again. And let's try use a smartphone. And if if uh, if you select a smartphone, yan, you can use a pre-configured smartphone without the need to enter details. You will have the option to turn on the phone or exit the program. And I want to turn on the phone now. Yan. When you turn on the smartphone, you will see a display of the feature we have created. The first feature is install app. Just press 1. You can choose which app to install in the available apps. And I want to install Facebook. And in this, it display the use storage, available storage, and the battery percentage is decremented to 1. And the second feature is capture photo. Just press 2. Yeah. You can enter a photo name and size. And like the photo name I want is pang DP, and the photo size is 9 MB. And, and it will display ay ano your capture photo and its size will be displayed, and the battery percentage will decrement by 10%. And the third feature is the view photo gallery. Just press 3 and you can browse the photo you captured earlier. And this is the display. And And the fourth feature is the send text message. And just press 4. You can enter a recipient number and message like, and I want 09099722 and the message is hello world, and it display this sending text to 0909722606 message hello world text message and sent successfully, and the battery percentage will decrement by 1%. And the fifth feature is make call, like just press 5. You can enter a recipient number like the send text message 0909972226, and it will show the call connected. To end the call, just press enter. Yeah. And now, let me call Mr. Alcantara to continue the explanation.
Be showcasing the output for our OOP Prelim final project. So let's run first the program. Let's pick 1 to build our smartphone and pick 3. Let's just put here the details for our smartphone. 256, 6500, 4, 7, 80, and Como. Let's turn on our phone by clicking 1, and let's continue with 6, which is the music player. So it says here that there are recommended music, song 1, song 2, and song 3. Let's pick 1 to play song 1, 2 to play song 3, and 3 to play song 3. We can also search for any song by entering 4, and let's try. And it says here that the song that we search is now playing. Let's click 5 to exit, and let's continue with 7, which is the check the weather today. It says here that the weather today is rainy, and let's continue with 8, which is the calculator. We are asked here what operator we want. 1 is addition, 2 subtraction, 3 multiplication, and 4 division. Let's pick 1 for addition, and it says here that enter a number. By entering 0, we now stop and compute the numbers that got inputted. So it means that we can enter 2 or more digits. So let's first enter 2 numbers, 50, 25, and let's pick 0 to stop and compute, and the answer is 75. Let's pick 2 for subtraction, and let's enter 3 numbers, 100, 75, or 72, and 8. Let's enter 0 to stop, and the answer is 20. The upper part here shows a solution. 100 minus 72 is 28, and 28 minus 8 is 20. So let's pick 5 to exit, and let's pick 9 to open the note up. We can enter a note by clicking 1, and we can enter the text that we want to put. So let's put hi note. It says here that the note has been successfully written. Let's pick 1 again to write another note. Let's write hello note. Successfully written. And by clicking 2, we can remove the recent note. But let's just first view all the notes. This is the notes that we have written. And by removing the recent note, we should only see hi note. Let's pick 3 to view, and it shows only 1 note. Let's click 4 to exit, and continue with 10, which is check date today. It says here the date and time, which is September 29, 2023, while also showing the time. Let's continue with 11, which is guess the number game. It says here that we should guess the number between 1 to 5, and we only have 3 tries. So let's first enter 1 for our guess. It says here that it's too low, we should go higher. Let's enter 3. It says it's too low, we should go higher. Let's enter 5. It says here that we got the answer, and let's play again just to show what will happen if we use all of our tries. So 1, oh, lucky. Let's try that again. 1, lucky again. Let's try that again. Let's try a different number. 3, 3, and 3. It says here after 3 tries, we lose. So let's enter 2 to exit. Let's continue with 12, which is rock, paper, and scissors game. The first one to score 3 wins, and these are the moves that we have. Let's pick 1 for rock. The enemy wins. Let's pick 2 for paper. We win. Let's pick 3 for scissors. It's a tie. Let's pick 3 again. The enemy wins. And lastly, let's pick 2. Let's see. It's our win. And last, rock. Another tie. Let's pick rock again. And it seems like we lost because the enemy scores 3 first. Let's continue with 13, which is the flashlight up. It says here that we can turn on and turn it off. So let's pick 1 to turn on. It's now turned on as it said here. Let's pick 2 to turn it off. 1, turn on, 2, turn off. Let's pick 3 to exit. And as you can see here, our battery percentage is now 68% while we use all of the apps. We can charge our phone by entering 14, and as you can see, the battery percentage is now 100. Let's pick 15 to see all of the smartphone details that we have inputted earlier. And let's also click 15 to turn off our phone. There's 2 options here, turn on again or exit. If we turn it on again by entering 1, we are back here in the smartphone menu. And if we pick 2, we will exit to the program. Let's run it again to show the final option, which is 17. If we exit, we will be asked here to pick 2 options. If you pick 1, we will proceed to exit, and if you pick 2, we will be back to the build smartphone menu. So let's pick 2 first to show, and here it is. You can build smartphone again. So let's just pick 1 and enter some of the details. And let's try picking the last option, which is exit. That's all. Thank you.